The idea I wanted to have this special meeting is that because I know we have been some confusion. We've been in terms of messaging, what to market, how to market, and we are at the same time we are updating the website and we're fixing the website for some of these issues. So as I've been thinking more and more about this, said okay, and looking forward. I came up with something like this, just 2 slides, basically, 2 or 3 slides, to use it as a guidance for us. So let's go through it, and then we can discuss it. Obviously, this is independent of the go-to-market strategy because we've done that already. Everything we talked about is there. Here, I'm focusing more about really one slide that I'm focusing on the most, and let's talk about that. So if I go through this, obviously we all know about this, right? We all know that in terms of route for sales, which means what route do we take to start to make sales? We all know that we are doing direct, right? So reaching out to client. We're using an agency right now, still not effective, but at least there is an agency supporting, and we have the conferences to generate lead. This year, I'm not sure, potentially, we have at least maybe 2 conferences we might be exhibiting at this year, maybe more, I don't know, depend on budget, but we are already doing this. So the green is that things we're already doing. I'll jump to the orange, and basically the idea here is that to generate sales from shareholders, at least in terms of providing us with some leads, and the partners. And I say enhanced because it's there. We have an incentive plan in place. We have the UBN in place. So these options are there. However, so far they have not generated anything. So obviously we might want to, some to look at and enhance in the future. The blue are things we have not done yet, such as Uruk direct event. And when I say Uruk event in this case, we're not talking about conferences. We're talking about Uruk marketing event. So Uruk scheduling, whether they are webinars or physical in-person events to promote Uruk, right? So that to me, when I say Uruk event, in this case, I'm talking about Uruk marketing events, right? So these are events to market our product, services, and solution, right? Which is different than workshops. Workshop usually is part of a training, or it could be educational workshop where we do short workshop or longer workshop to generate interest, and these could be free or paid, right? So obviously, for example, if we do a Women in PM program as a workshop, if we can actually get that off the ground and really do one, that is a free event. However, ideally, it could generate some interest. Maybe, we don't know. Or we can be some paid workshop, like a training events that could generate revenue from the workshop as a workshop, plus could generate some leads for the platform and for other services as well, right? Does anybody see anything that is not clear here or I missed? So we can, at least. Guys, anything?
No, I don't have any questions.
No questions?
I can add something, Munir, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for question, confusion, or missing point.
Okay, I would add joint ventures. If you want to put it under affiliates, that's fine, or you can just put it alone under joint ventures.
What I'm saying is that joint venture is different than affiliates, right? Because you're talking about actual joint venture, right? We're not talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Something like what we were talking to, for example, Iris about.
No, I think here, okay, good. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's split that. There are 2 different things here then, right? What you're talking about there is you have talking about technical partnerships.
Yeah, and there are also the business joint ventures, which is basically working with other companies to offer services together.
No. This is why I'm trying to
or
clarify.
sales to each other's customers.
No,
Not
this is why I'm
necessarily.
trying to clarify because I want to be very accurate with the definition, right? When we partner with another association, join like an MOU, like what you do in GPM or potentially with IRS, this is a partnership, right? A joint venture, the word joint venture, at least from the background I come from, have very strong meaning, right? A joint venture that means we form another company. So technically we are, yeah, so that's where I want to try to distinguish. In that case, you're talking about partners that, something like IRIS will be partnerships.
Yes, but there are two types of partnerships: the technical one, like IRIS or GPM, and the pure business ones that means we work together towards approaching the same customers or each other's customers, without having to create our solutions.
Okay, I will add that as a separate. I will split the partnership into two. Okay. We can do it very quickly, and so I don't have to take notes. We have partners tech, and we have partners UBN. Okay.
And Munir, one more thing. What about if you would be invited to event or to speak in some other association event?
No, that's speaking. We're not selling there.
But what if you have a chance to sell as well? Like you will be presenting
somebody in talk, but that's not. I mean, that is independent, right? So if we're talking about if I am attending an event and I meet somebody and showed interest, that's part of the selling process.
Okay.
It's not, I mean, the event itself, attending there as a speaker, that by itself is not the selling route.
Okay.
It is, in a sense, when you remember when we talked about speaking, profit speaking, where you speak to sell, actually, even if you don't sell directly on while you're speaking, but you refer your audience to something that you offer them, maybe a book or a webinar or something that we can use to get them to buy.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I saw that as potentially more marketing rather than.
Actually, it's sales, not marketing. The idea is to.
You're talking about your idea, the one that you talked about last time.
Yeah, yes. So that can be done in any event. It doesn't have to be your
workshop
event.
too? Isn't that a workshop? Oh, no. Okay, you're talking about
you speaking anybody, anywhere. Can be a speech, can be an interview, can be anything. All you need to do is just add a couple of comments at the end that if you need more information, you can go to this website or you can go check this ebook or something.
It's
just refer your audience to somewhere that we can grab their information and continue with them.
Yeah, the same like what you did, Munir, when you have a presentation for Ottawa University, I believe, Carleton University, like when you did one presentation all about Uruk. You were invited to talk in somewhere else, like in a university.
That's fine. I'll add it, but I wasn't. To me, that was passive. That wasn't active. I'm looking for
that's one of the most successful venues. That's one of the most successful selling venues right now in consulting businesses.
No, I mean, if we're talking about doing a speaking engagement for the purpose of lead generation, that is, to me, it's an event.
Yeah, that's different. I'm talking about if you are invited to deliver a speech somewhere, or if you are invited to an interview, anywhere where there's audience, not private, not a private audience of the people who are speaking to you or interviewing you, but anywhere that is open to public, then you can still deliver the message that if you need more information, you can go here and you can do this and that.
I understand. I mean,
without selling, you're not selling.
But that wasn't to me. That is. It was more of basically. I'm talking about here some specific action to generate lead that is being proactive. So basically, actively pro-selling. When I'm speaking at a conference, I'm not going to be actively pro-selling. Yes, of course, anybody who follow me, they might be interested in my company and stuff like that. So I was considered that more of a passive type of way. Unless we do your idea, we have not because we have not done your idea, Ahmed, yet, right?
I know. I'm just adding. I want to add it to the venue.
Yeah, that's fine. Add it. The speaking
You
engagement.
know, let's keep if you want, let's keep it till the end. Let's finish this, and I want to add something in the end anyway. So
Anyway, but no, I mean the speaking. This is what we're talking about: getting generation speaking engagement. I added it as a potential route for lead generation, right? So if we're looking for lead gen, but I mean obviously in that case we are really this diagram will become more complicated if I want to do it the way I want it, because some of it will be have indirect. They're more passive versus very proactive. Okay. Anything else on this? Okay, if not, then this is really the main one I want to talk about. And because I was in discussion with someone, and basically she was asking me, said, okay, how are you selling? Right? Of course, we can talk about the different route. But then that brought up the question is that how do we convey our message? Right? And of course, so I start to look at, okay, what options do we have? Right? We already know about the first two, right? We know about that if a client does not have an OPM system, okay, then obviously we can sell to them. We need to create the message, the approach to basically to encourage them. That in this case, I put some notes, right? So here's the focus more on our marketing messages. And as I say on the next slide, is that mean, you know, we need to have email marketing, we need to have banners, we need to have social media posts to promote. So there are 4 areas. The way I look at this slide here is that there are 4 areas for promotion. And so when we want to promote our stuff, we want to promote our things, there are 4 major route of marketing, 4 major campaign. If we want to think about it from a marketing campaign perspective, there are 4 different routes. One is the message that need to cater toward those organizations that does not have OPM system, right? So we need to basically, in that case, in our marketing message to them, would focus on Uruk expertise because they don't have a system, right? So basically what we're going to try to sell them, hey guys, you don't have a system, we do, right? We have built-in system. We have a system, we have a platform that is built by practitioner for practitioner. So it's not IT people doing something based on surveys. We have built-in organizational system. So basically, these are the kind of things that the kind of messages, and of course we can add or delete from this as we move forward, that they use to promote that certain audience, right? So I can see, for example, a banner marketing this whole area. I can see an email message marketing this whole area. But for each bullet point, it might be a separate digital media post, like on social media, on LinkedIn, or right. So, you know, a post to market Uruk as built by practitioner for practitioner. Although that phrase apply to all of these guys, all of these different routes, however, probably is more important as we're trying to sell as well. When we communicate with clients that don't have the system, hey guys, we have a system for you. You can get ready. You know, you can start working immediately. You don't have to waste time on hiring consultant or taking time from your own team to build a system. Right? So that is one area. Let me go through them and then we can discuss each one of them. Or actually, no, I prefer maybe it's easier to go one by one. And before I do that, I think let me jump to the last slide and we'll come back to this one. So here as a guideline from the last slide is what I'm saying is that each header from the previous slide is segregating for audience or message. Each bullet could be a social media post. I'm repeating what I just said, but I put it here as well. Each one of these areas should be a flyer. So Maria, we need marketing-wise, we're talking about flyer. And when I say a flyer, that means a 1 page or 2 pages maximum, a flyer that if we print it, it will be 1 paper, And if you don't print it, it will be 1 or 2 pages PDF. A banner on the website, an email message, and a section on the website. So basically, when I'm talking about from a marketing perspective, when we talk about the Uruk platform, we talk about all of these things, and we need to start focusing our sales somehow is that how do we market that area? To basically, we're talking about segmenting our audience in this case, okay? The bullet are suggestion. We need marketing, sales, wording. So I'm just suggesting some of the key features there. We can modify, and you guys can provide input. If we do ads, and when we do tagging, the first 3 blocks are focus. Target is executive. The target are for executive, whereas the last block is for executive and people, professionals, right? Because the last part is about training, and again, we will talk about it and go back to it. And again, I only included what I could think of, right? So if we look at the first one, let me first briefly go through all of them, highlight. So we have the companies that no OPM system. We have the companies that have an OPM system, right? And then how do we target that? How do we target them? Okay. Then we have a consultancy service in this case. So using consultancy service to drive sales, but focusing on gaps analysis, similar to what Ahmed, you and I, when we met with Mark, right? And the last one is applied learning, which is the workshop, right? So these are the 4 to me, is that if we can focus on these 4 areas, obviously the first 2 are mostly marketing. The other 2 is marketing and sales. Actually, so all of them marketing and sales, right? So if we focus on these potential route, I think these are probably the most, obviously in this case, Ahmed, I know you probably want to add your things here, right? But at least from that perspective, that might be at least the different route that we want to choose to go out and to market. So if I go back to one by one, we have the OPM system, okay, no OPM system. So how do we message? How do we target our client when we call a company, whether it's marketing or sales? Marketing, obviously, is the email marketing, the digital post. But in terms of sales, if we know a company that doesn't have this, what are the key points that we want to emphasize to make a sale? Or at least to get them interested in a meeting, right? So that's the objective of it. So no OPM. Do we want to talk about it? These points make sense, understood. Do we need to modify? Do we need to delete? I'm just looking for main point today because obviously we have time to improve on these later, but just in general. Any questions?
I have a general comment, Munir, which is it applies to all of them actually, and to anything that we're talking to our customers. Whenever we're talking to a customer, all what they care for is the result they would get.
Correct.
So what we're saying here is basically how we will do things, but what will be the outcome for the customer?
Remember, I'm focusing more on the route of getting to a client and communicating with a client, right? Remember, we have the section that we are adding on the website, and that was what we said before. That doesn't exclude anything we said before. We need to have specific videos about value and benefit and the unique value proposition to the client, right? So this does not replace that. This is on top of that, right? So
yes,
I need to create the marketing. Sorry?
I'm sorry. Here you created 4 separate instances or cases that we can look at. And it's actually good because this will help us deliver a more customized message to our customer. The only thing that's missing here is that what's the outcome, the final outcome for the customer in each one of the stages. Regardless of what we have before, everything else, if we're talking here, so here, for example, if we take the no OPM system, what are we doing? We are trying to inspire their experience, trust by saying that we are experts and we have lots of expertise in project management. And, the whole system was built by PM practitioners, and the methodology is built also by a PM expert. So this is all to inspire trust, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we talk about the versatility of the solution, which is it's a built-in organizational project management system. Tailored methods are there that we can adapt, we can customize for you depending on your situation, depending on what you need. And it will speed up the implementation of your PMO, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, this is all how are we going to help them? But what is the end result? What are we trying to achieve for the
Ahmed, I did
customer?
not put it here. I did not put it here because we already agreed to that, and that is part outside of this, right? The value proposition is unique for all of these routes. It's the same, right? The unique value proposition of Uruk is to help organizations. Basically, we talk about,
Is it the same?
huh?
Is it the same?
The end
I don't
result should be the same, correct? Isn't it? What is the end result of our services? Is to help our client improve the practice of project management and to the ability to deliver project cheaper, faster, better, right? I mean, this is in a quick term.
I agree. That's the general result that they will get. Yes, but
Yeah.
if we talk about different types of customers here, a customer that has no OPM at all is totally different than a customer that has an OPM or at advanced stages of the OPM that they only have some gaps. So what they're looking for is different. They're not all looking for the same thing.
Yeah,
If you have no OPM at
in
all,
terms of the what is different, but in terms of the result, it's the same. They want to improve performance.
yes, that's the general result. That's like going to a business owner and telling them, I will make you, I will help you create more profit. Yeah, if you, I mean, there are so many venues for creating more profit. Which one are we taking?
No, we are.
My point is, Munir, we have the general, let's say, our general target or goal, which is helping our customers in their project management
That's the
efforts.
unique value proposition.
Yes. Now we need something a little bit before that applies to each one of those separately.
But I don't see it different. That's the problem. That's where, the difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying. To me, the value is that the route might be different. The mechanics might be different, but the end result is what we're looking for to help our client with is maximizing shareholder value in the area of delivering product and assets, right? So basically, when they work on project, of course, some of them, for example, if a company have an OPM system, if I want to quantify this, maybe improvement might be 1 or 2 or 3%, but whereas an OPM system could be 5 or 6 or 7%, right? But here we're starting to get into quantification, which we cannot use yet because I don't have any scientific way of determining the value. However, at the end of the day, the purpose of all of these things, at least the first three, is to help organization improve their project management system, competence, capacity to deliver project faster, cheaper, better. They're all the same. So that I don't see the difference in terms of what would be the outcome of this. If a client is interested in improving performance, right, we have a solution. Now, based on that client, right, the solution might be, that might be one of these three routes. I think we need to keep the last one on its own because it's a special one. So either I'm gonna go in and tell them, okay, you don't have an OPM system, I have, okay, or you have an OPM system that I can map it to us, or maybe you're not sure what you need, and we start with the gap analysis. That's the hierarchy, is that the different three routes. So based on who are we talking to, okay, our vision, mission, purpose is to help them improve their integrated portfolio management, right? Now, how do we start? This is basically more about how do we get started with the client. Obviously, it depends on which route they want to take or which condition they are in. So I'm open to ideas that, okay, what do you think is missing here to add it? But I did not include the commonality of it. So How do you see a difference if I talk to OPM system versus no OPM system? How do you see a difference in messaging?
The difference is actually in achieving the result. The way I see it is that, for example, if somebody has an OPM system, they might need, let's say, 2 steps to arrive at the end result that we're trying to give. If they have no OPM system, they might need 10 steps, so they are way behind. So
yeah,
we can, as you said, we can just give the same end result for everybody, regardless of the jump they have to do, or we can give them intermediary results.
No,
It's a choice. We can do that.
Even when we go gap analysis, right? I mean, but here you're talking about, but it's not the end result. The end result is the improvement, right? The steps.
It's like telling somebody in high school to graduate from university as an engineer, and telling somebody else from an engineering school in the university that you're going to graduate as an engineer. The journey is very much different.
I agree with the journey is different. That's not the issue here.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that don't we want to add intermediary steps to this, or we just stick to the one level for all?
No, what you are saying there, it will be based on what you just said right now, right? Because that's slightly different than when we started. The end result is the same. Okay, the route is different. What you were describing right now is actually not here, is step after, not before, after. Right?
After what?
After these things. After, for example, if I go talk to a client with no OPM system, right? Based on that discussion, if they're interesting, I can map the journey. If you're talking about the journey right now, I can map their journey. But I need to start somewhere. So we're talking about here now is how do we start the marketing and sales effort? When I start to communicate, what am I trying to sell them? I think what you're saying there is extremely valuable. You're talking about the journey now. Now, of course, the journey will be different based on which route. For example, with one, the journey starts very quickly because they can use the existing system. With two, the journey is slightly different. It starts with their tailored method. With three, the journey starts different because we start with the gap analysis. So they not even have a subscription to the platform yet, right? So in terms of the journey, you're 100% correct. The journey is different in each one of these cases. And of course, if I look at the applied learning, the journey is even more different. It has even more steps, right? But what I'm trying to do here is more about the mindset that we have in terms of marketing, at least to attract those leads, right? To attract those leads and maybe qualify those leads and then convert them into sales, the journey would be different. The journey would be different. But but that to me is the second step after the initial contact.
Okay, so we are maintaining the same message for everybody, the same goal for everybody, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about the journey later. We're not defining any intermediary goals right now, which is fine. I'm just giving the option.
No, because the intermediate, I cannot define intermediary. I mean, I can take generically, Ahmed, right? Because each company is totally different.
Of course, but
yeah. For example,
the way you categorize them.
Yeah, let me highlight the point, Ahmed. No OPM system, right? When I talk to a company that doesn't have an OPM system, they might tell us, you know what? Yes, we know we don't have an OPM system. So let's go through your platform immediately and use whatever you guys have. Or they might tell us, how about you build the system for us first, and then we proceed, right? So that, you know, so when we have a no OPM system, the client could take us into two different routes, or actually multiple routes. They said, we will use your generic method. We'll start with generic method, and then in the future, we can talk about anything else. Or yes, we will start with you for a period of time, and then we identify area for enhancement. You tailor it for me, or build my system and then proceed.
Okay, let me tell you how I thought of it. Now I see what you mean. How I thought of it is that starting from the left, no OPM system, our first major target is to build them an OPM system using them using our platform. I'm not talking about the platform, I'm talking about the end result. So building. I'm sorry.
if they want that, because we have a system built into the platform, right?
Yes, but using the platform, okay, so you're saying they can just use the platform and continue without even building their OPM system.
That is the maximum value that we can offer them, is they can start immediately with something instead of having to spend $100,000 to build the system first.
So they don't have to go from one to the other.
Sorry?
They don't have to go from one to the other. They are just totally separate paths.
They're separate passes.
Okay, fine. Okay.
So I have,
at the highest level, there are two passes. You use our system, right? And of course, once you start to use it, later on, you can come up with your own ideas, with your own modification. And we do those modifications as they come when they're needed. Or basically said, no, build me the system first. Now, of course, build me the system first. It might cost them $100,000, right? Because that's going to require a lot of consultancy work first. And then we map, then in a way, we are creating an OPM system, but we are not starting from scratch because we already have something. And then map it to the platform, and then we give it to them, right? So in that case, that's a choice they have, but they're going to cost them more money, and it's going to take time to build. Whereas they can start immediately with something we have, and then as we identify opportunity for improvement is there. Also here, Ahmed, another route might be coming, like what you said before, come and manage it for me, right? Manage services.
Yes.
So there are different options. And I don't know what the answer would be, and I don't, but there are different potential, there are different routes, but that require at least that first, how do we get the message to this type of audience?
Okay, understood.
Nada?
Yeah, I want to add one of the points. I'm thinking about integrating with others existing software that they have. That's also, like one of the messages that we can communicate. But because if they don't have a system in place, most probably they have some softwares that are using MS Project and others. So we definitely can communicate by, if you have something exists, okay, we can integrate it with you. We're not saying that you are wasting your existing tools that you are using. We're saying that we are enhancing your OPM system that you have in place. So I can add.
Nada, you're talking about now the green, not the blue.
I'm talking about integration because
No,
they
you're
have
talking about improving your system. We're saying here they don't have a system.
not even, we don't consider if they have a MS Project or anything. They consider that
I don't know what they have. They may be not. They may probably they have MS Project and use it as a to-do list, right? But
so
having
that
a tool, that's not. You see, differentiate between a system and a tool, right? If they are using task management tools,
yeah,
that doesn't mean they have a system. If they are using MS Project, that doesn't mean they have a system. They just have a tool. They use those tools.
so that means they have, that's on the blue then. If they don't have a system, they only have a tools. That's what I'm trying to say. Integrate with your existing tools with our platform. So that goes in the blue, right?
No. I mean, okay, let's define what does the word system mean. Okay.
System.
A system means in our vocabulary, when we talk about organizational project management system, right? That means they have policies, procedures, guidelines, methodology established. Okay. Has nothing to do with tool, whether they use Primavera or MS Project or Timeline or Jira or whatever tool. These are tools they use to help them, maybe in assuming they have those tools, to help them in their day-to-day. That doesn't mean that here we're saying they don't have a system, they don't have a method, they don't have a methodology, they don't have policies. They might have something, but might be nothing official. So they don't have, and when so it's somewhere between. I mean, I can add a category here that they have some system, right? But to me, is that either or. If they have some system, then we consider them they have a system. Here they have no system. They don't have. They basically manage project ad hoc. They manage project, like Samer said it one time, by email, and but Samer have a system, right? So integration of tools, that yes, of course, that is something we can do with any of these items. Actually, one of the potential client that Fadi Bayoud is talking about today, he's just sent me messages last night. He's talking to a company in Abu Dhabi. they have like 7 different tools they're using. Okay, but again, it doesn't seem they have a system in place. So going back to what you're saying, I'm just trying to clarify the terminology, right? If they have tools, of course, we can integrate with those tools. That's a given. But basically, here we're focused is that if they don't have a system, right?
So would you like to add this integration to with the green then, green bullet?
No, because integration is given for all different platforms. Everything we do, I mean, technically we can have integration.
Okay.
I mean, we can add it if we want to, but to me, I'm focusing on here what is different, what is our selling point. We can add integration. I have no problem. I mean, I'll add it, but that's the main, because I don't know if it will be integrated, because the reason I hesitate, okay, the reason I'm hesitating in answering, right? If we look at our marketing and sales presentation that we need to finish, to develop, right? Or, I mean, we already have a sales presentation, we need to update it. And if we look at our sales pitch, if you remember, we have a slide that talks about the market and the competition and the tools. And for some tools, we will replace them.
Yeah.
Some tools, Uruk will be replacing. So basically, we tell the client, hey, you don't need these tools anymore, right? Uruk will give you that, and it will give you all of, you have 5 tools here. All of these are inside Uruk. You don't need them anymore, right? And there might be some tools that may be too difficult for us to replicate, and we don't want to replicate, and we will integrate with it, right? That is, I think, I mean, the reason I didn't put it here because we're starting to get too technical and too complicated, but I'm fine with that. I have no issues with what you're saying. The focus is all on, my focus is on the system itself.
Another options, I'm just putting all my ideas. Another one that I might consider adding, in addition to what we can offer them, build and the tailor method and select the most suitable one, we can also mention about the functions modules that we are developing too. So this is going to be also something, some companies might look at risk as something that's important, like in managing their project. They might not consider methodology or anything, but they talk about risk. They talk about, cost management or scheduling. So can we consider this one point also, that
No,
our
again, no, because it's already in here. What you're saying, you're getting into technical detail, it's already in here, right? Built-in organization system, built-in tailored method. What does it mean? When we say system, that means we have a procedures and guideline for managing project. That means we have a cost, we have schedule, we have quality. Obviously we don't have everything yet, right?
I agree, Munir, but sometimes, like some companies who have no idea about how to manage their projects, like they have no system in place. When you talked about, when you tell them the word, I work in project management. Oh, you work in risk management. No, risk is part of it. That's my response. So sometimes we might highlight this functionality that people are looking for. Instead of putting it under that built-in tailor method system, we can mention
that's why we have consultative sales, right? If I want to follow what you just recommended, then I have to put here risk assessment or risk management, change management, cost management, project control. All of these topics, I will have to add them here. Why would I emphasize one point? This one we talk about built-in organizational system, right? So basically that means we are building the process that will need to help you to manage project, right? Without getting into the technical detail of what each of component. That's where on our website, we have the section for features. We talk about features there, right? So it's not, I cannot highlight a specific point. Now, when we are meeting with the client, if they emphasize that we have a weakness in this area, then we need to, based on what we have in Uruk, we can tell them this area is covered already, or it is being developed now, or it is a feature enhancement, right? So this is a live situation and it's dynamic. From now on, from April onward, every 2-3 weeks, we have something new in the platform to communicate. Right?
Yeah.
So it all depends when we are meeting with the client, what is the client interest? If they're looking for a methodology for managing project, okay, the platform, it is to cover the PLC management, and now it has simplified functions. As we
Yeah.
move forward, we will be adding more and more function, and this is part of our continuous improvement and enhancement of the platform. I cannot
Yeah.
emphasize a single point here because I have no idea what the client gaps are.
But Munir, but I agree with what you said. I'm not saying that it's technical. What I just asked for is a more technical, more details. But we're looking at what you are presenting today is messages, marketing messages that we are trying to communicate with the clients.
Yes.
So that could, that for down on the road, once we have more modules will be developed, that's going to be our marketing messages too, you know, like we are, you know, we just launch or establish this new modules, adding up, enhancing our software. So that's why I'm suggesting it. I'm not saying let's list them all, but at least mention that our software, our tailor method system consisting of functional management, such as risk, time, whatever, you know, just simple words as a communicating message. That's what I'm trying to say, nothing more. And I
I
agree.
understand, but what I'm saying is that, okay, what I am putting here are the key points that we need to address,
Yeah,
right? When we talk about risk or cost, it's in the built-in organizational system. So it's already in there as
okay.
part of that header category. If I want to start to list things here, I'm talking about this PowerPoint presentation right now. If I'm going to start listing things here, I end up with, we have 20. Okay, let me give you just an idea. Okay, I need to send you maybe 2 files for you guys to see, because I don't think anybody, including the board, understand the next program we are working on. There are 27 different topics that we need to develop in the next year. Which one I will put here out of those 27?
Yes, of course, whatever is going to be developed first. No, but we cannot
No,
put them
but I
all.
mean, that's a different story, right? We already talked about that with Maria, and we talked about we're going to do press releases every time we release a new module. We will do a press release on it. That is independent. That's a given. That is for everybody, whether they have an OPM system, no OPM system. Marketing, the product releases are different story. We're going to do that, right? But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that here is what do I include in here? I notice I don't even include program management or portfolio management in here. So even at the highest level, I'm not including that, right? When you want to market messages to executive, remember, this is the idea here is we are marketing to executive. Executive are not going to worry about the detail. Executive are focusing on, okay, show me a system that will help me deliver value. Now, when we talk with their people, and if we have, their technical people involved in meetings, and they start to ask, how about this? How about that? How about this? Here is
Then
basically, it become where our product, whoever is talking to them, and their product knowledge will be able to tell them what exists, what is under development, and what would be future.
yeah.
So that has to be on case-by-case basis in terms of the discussion that we have with the people.
And what about one more point I have in mind? I'm just giving you all my ideas. Moving them to digitalized solution. You know, this is the future. This is what is everybody's doing now. You know, so we are offering something. It's a cloud-based digitalized solution. Like you have to up with the changes of the world that is happening so fast. Everything is happening so fast. Everything is being digitalized and
That is
on a
this
cloud
bullet.
base.
That is this bullet, right? In this presentation, bullet number 4. Okay. The bullet, I'm focusing on the main topic from my perspective as a product owner. And we need good marketing and sales wording to emphasize the point. That's where it needs to be when we start to develop these messages, right? When we start to write these messages and write the email marketing, do the website, do the digital media, social media post, right? We need to emphasize those other points that are, this is going back to what Maria and the team we were working on before, which is what are the different. Let me step back. Remember this, as I said to Ahmed earlier, right? We have a unique value proposition. We have why Uruk. We have why the Uruk platform, right? And all of these focusing on executive speak to value of the platform and the value of what we're trying to offer our client. Those are given, they are not impacted by this. They have nothing to do with this. This is to supplement that, right? On top of that, we have on our website, and we will have a flyer on the critical differentiators. We have the key features, right? So we have all that information. In a way, when we talk about the platform, we have the why, the what, the who, the where, and all of that, right? There are sections for this on our website and on our marketing. So we have the differentiator we need to highlight, and that it goes for all of these guys, all of these options. We have the features, such as what you were talking about, the cost, the schedule, the risk, right? Though we have a section on the website for that. So all of those are covered on the website, and they will be covered in our marketing. What I was trying to add here is that how do we package all of that stuff? We have a lot of content out there, right? How do we package all of that? How do we focus our message? And what I'm saying is, in order to focus our message, we need to think of our audience. In the first category, we have the audience that is the companies that may not have any OPM system. So I still tell them about the features, the functionalities when I meet with them. I'll still to tell them about why Uruk is important, what can Uruk do for them. All of that is there. It has to be given in the sales marketing messages and in the sales presentation that we do to client. All of it has to be there. In this case, is where do we focus most? Okay, and so we have the route of companies with no OPM, company with OPM, companies that might need gap analysis first. Right? So what you're raising is valid point, but they are already there. If they are already there in our marketing and our messages, I'm not adding them here. What's common, like what Ahmed was suggesting, the unique value proposition, it's common. So I did not put it under this because I see it as common. The journey is different. The message might be slightly different, but the outcome is the same. The quantification might be different, but I mean, in general. Any other point on this?
Yes, I have a point about this slide. So how I see it, how we can do it is, I don't think we need the four, like, for example, for the website, we don't need like all four explaining in a specific page, because how I see it is we can be focused in delivering the message for the companies that don't have the OPM system, and the other ones that do have the OPM systems. And with the gaps analysis and the applied learnings, those messages should like support the message that we are giving to like each of the customers that we are focused on, that are going to be two. And for the value proposition, we can show, like, for example, the OPM, the ones who has the system, we can emphasize the message of how we can improve what they have. And for the ones that they don't have it, it's about like explaining why it's important, because it's going to be a longer process, as Alma said before. We need to show them why they need the platform, because they don't have anything at all. We still need to show the value proposition, but on the page, for example, for the people who don't have, for the companies who don't have OPM system, we can emphasize it from like, what do they need it? Because for the other ones who already have it, it's not about like, what do they need it? It's like how they can improve what they already have. So we can have like these two different focuses, it's going to be the same result because they are going to improve. They are going to have a system if they don't have it. They are going to like increase like the project management. Either if they have it or don't have it, the value proposition of the software is going to be the same, but the message is going to be different. And we can do it from like the website. We can just have like one page that is going to be focused for those people, for those companies who don't have anything at all, and the other one is going to be more focused on what they have it. So for the ones that they have it, we can emphasize on like the differentiators of the features, for example. On the other ones, we can emphasize more how the whole process will help them, not just like about our product specifically, it's like how this system can improve it, because they don't have it, and maybe sometimes they could not even understand, and maybe that's why they don't have it. So we need to do like more for example, learning process. About the learning process could be more focused for the methods that are going to be for the companies who don't have the system. For the gaps analysis, for example, I think that we can use that, and also the applied learning for the service too, because if I see what is on the gap analysis, we can also provide that, but that is going to be more focused under the services, not specifically to the platform. And we can use the analysis message also as a support for selling the main for selling a platform. Because when, for example, when we are trying to show them, okay, this is the product, we need to show also like educate them. Doesn't matter if they have or not the system. We cannot just deliver like information or message that is going to be just about selling, because they need to find another value proposition, and they need to see us that we don't want just to sell something to them. So we need to provide like applied learning and gaps analysis, but in different, like from me will be like different perspective, because we can use it as under the services for the gaps analysis and applied learning, and focus on that, like we offer this but as a service and they pay for it. But we can also emphasize like how we are going to educate them, and how we are going to, and like how are we able to analyze that you have a gap, but to show them that this platform is a great solution for them. That's how I will like segmentate the message for each of the 4 items.
Yes, but let me clarify, right? In terms of the website, right now, there are no major change on the website because of this. We still have to follow the structure that we designed, for example, already on the platform and what's going on in the platform. What I'm saying for the website we need to do here slightly different is the minor changes here is that we need to have banners. So for example, I need to have a banner targeting client with no OPM system, right? So basically, if I want to target that audience, and then I need to do a banner for that, I need to do ad for that, and I need to create email marketing for that, and I need to have a landing page for this, right? So the website bears the structure that we have today. It's there. It's not going to change. We still have why Uruk PM, why is the Uruk platform, what is the Uruk platform. All of those sections are not changed. Okay, Maria, the difference will be is that if I want to target my audience, how do I target my audience? And here when I'm talking about a campaign to target companies with no OPM system. Okay, that when I say that campaign, that means I need to have a landing page on the website. I need to have a banner. I need to have email marketing. I need to have digital marketing posts. I need to have a video, right? I need to have ads. right? So that basically what I'm trying to say, the purpose of this meeting and in this presentation is that we need to treat each one of these blocks as a marketing campaign. That's the idea. Okay, so when I want to do a marketing campaign, I need to define my audience. Now, the gap analysis, the page is going to be under services. You are, in that case, you are right. Under services, there will be a page for gap analysis because that is a service we offer. Applied learning, that is a workshop we offer. So it will be under services as well, right? But also what I'm trying to say, I want to emphasize them as route to generate lead. Other than being on the website and being static, I want to be proactive in terms of our marketing, right? So I need to do a marketing campaign for gap analysis. I need to do a marketing campaign for applied learning. The difference mainly in the first two blocks, OPM or no OPM, I need to make a marketing campaign for each of them. But so what I'm saying is that when we do that marketing campaign, the videos, the ad, what are we going to differentiate? What are going to be the key point difference between these options? And that's what I was trying to do in this slide. So when I communicate, when I do a marketing campaign for companies, targeting companies, because I don't know who these companies are, targeting companies with no OPM system, I'm going to emphasize, you're 100% right, Maria, I need to do education. In this case, right, I'm not trying to convince them of the platform. I need to convince them first that they need an OPM system. So when we do the marketing message and if we record the video on this, okay, first I need to emphasize the value of the OPM system. And then I basically, in that case, I will immediately jump to say, hey, you know, this is valuable. If you agree, you don't have to spend $1 million and wait a year to have that system. You can have it tomorrow. And maybe even some of these wordings, this is why I'm recording this webinar or this meeting, because some of these wording we can use, even slang, right? Why spend $1 million, for example, here, why spend $1 million and wait a year to build your OPM system where we can give it to you tomorrow? I mean, that could be a slogan we can use, right? Again, I'm not a marketing person, so I have no idea, or a salesperson, what will be the message. But that is what we're trying to emphasize with the no OPM system. Whereas companies that have an OPM system, I'm kind of, hey guys, you already believe and you have an OPM system. If you already have a methodology and system in place, you already understand the value of it, but maybe you don't have it digitized. So what would be in this case, I'm trying to convince them the value of digitization, the value of digital transformation. If they have a digital, if you have it digitized, for example, if you have it digitized, would that help you do better tomorrow? We know you're doing good. Okay, can you do better? If you have a system already in place, we are sure you are doing good. You perform well. Then, if you have digital solution, would that improve your performance? So these are the kind of question that we can ask and we can use in our marketing to trigger people to think. Again, I'm not that creative. I don't know what the right wording, but we need to trigger them. We need to trigger them to click on our ad. We need to trigger them to click on our website, right? That, hey, you're doing great. We are sure you're doing good in managing your project. Can you do better with a digital solution? Or for gap analysis, hey, maybe you do have a system in place already. Do you think there are some gaps that you can fill? Do you need someone to help you with an assessment? Again, this is where I'm trying to do here, is that to create these different marketing campaigns targeting these different audiences. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. Website-wise, there's no major change here. No major
Can I
change.
propose something, Munir?
Yeah.
Looking at this slide, when you first sent it to us, then now after the discussion we had at the beginning of this meeting, maybe we can do something that we can add to the website after all. If we think in terms of the Uruk PM journey, so taking an organization from whatever stage they are in till they reach the goal that we want them to reach, which is the success in project management.
I can already
Can-
read what you're going to say. Okay, and I think it's a great idea. Continue.
Thank you. So the first three, even the fourth can be included, but the first three mostly, they are steps in a journey. So the first one is the first step, the first stage, which is an organization that is, maybe it's not the first, maybe the first stage is an organization that has no experience at all in project management. Then this next stage is an organization that's doing somehow project management, but they don't have a system for it. The third stage is an organization that is doing project management. They have a system, but they need improvement. And the fourth stage is an organization that's done all that, but they still need to tighten, tighten things up, make it more efficient, optimized, or something like that. So if we can draw this visually as a journey, and we can plug our customers on that journey, depending on where they are currently in their practice, then that might be something very valuable at our website. And we can use it as a marketing tool, and as we can use it in our campaigns as a demonstration of what can they do and what are their next steps.
It's a great idea. I mean, when you start speaking, I already immediately visualize it. I think basically there is something called like stages of learning or something like this, or 8-step of wisdom. Basically the journey. But yes, definitely, I 100% agree. And here I already came up with a slogan. Where are you on the journey of excellence or project excellence?
Yeah, we can.
I will draw something. And that could be like a poster that we use to trigger for these 4 areas. Sorry, 3 areas. The last one is independent on its own.
The last one, yeah, I mean, it can be added as an accessory to the journey, but it's not part of the journey, right?
No, I mean, the last one is applied throughout the journey, through all the stages of the journey.
Yeah, it's not part of the journey itself.
Yeah.
Okay. One more comment. In the OPM system, in the middle, you say we can configure your PLC before committing. What are we talking about here? Why don't they need to
actually
commit?
Somebody came yesterday. Remember, we used to talk, and I think this would be a major change in our go-to-market strategy.
Okay.
Before we were talking about that, if a client wants a tailored method, we will hire us, we will charge them extra money to build the tailored method for them.
Okay.
What we are saying here, and somebody gave me that idea, yes. I was in a meeting with an advisor yesterday or 2 days ago, and she gave me the idea. I said, why don't you build it for them at risk? Like exactly what we're doing with Samer.
Yeah, but we're not giving the Samer the end result. We're giving them a simulation.
Correct. And in this case, we won't give them the end result either. But what we should be, so we're not talking about spending a week, because to build it for them, it might take a week. The first change to build it for them, will include it as part of the price. So this will offer it like a special promotion. Said, hey, typically building a tailored method is extra cost. For our early client, we are giving that as a free service, right? So we are basically absorbing that our initial cost is including some of that. That is one part. But to convince them, can we do what we are doing with Samer? If they have a process, said, hey, if you are willing to share with us your high-level process, we can map it for you. We can do a draft mapping. And I think I use the word draft here somewhere.
Yeah, draft or high level. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then when we meet, we can show it to you.
Okay. Yeah, that's good actually.
So that might be, in a way, we are willing to spend maybe half a day or something, do something for them before we even meet.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And then the proof of concept on one project with the initial onboarding for the 90 days money back guarantee.
Okay.
So here, look, we're minimizing the risk. right? We are willing to do some work before you even commit to us. We are going to give you the tailoring as part of the price, and you have a 90 on one tailor method, not multiple tailor method, right? So they will agree on a project, said, okay, let's build the tailor method for that project. And then we pilot it for 90 days, okay, which mean additional coaching and hand-holding. They're not happy. Of course, they still have the money back guarantee. Otherwise, we will ask them to commit for 3 years. Now, if you're talking about sales, with lock price, we tell them, look, you can subscribe yearly, or you can lock the price for 3 years and pay it, and all the improvements we're going to be doing, and we can tell them the list of improvements we are doing this year. It will be, you know, your price will be fixed. It will not be affected, despite all the new enhancement that we will be releasing. So that is where we can, and I think that argument can also be used with an OPM system, right? So the idea is that we need to be able to attract clients and sacrifice on the profit. I mean, we want a revenue right now. I don't care if we don't make any profit, right? We need that revenue right now. So
yeah, I mean, okay.
And the same argument, we do it with an OPM system, but the difference here is that here we are trying, basically, we're trying to minimize the resistance to change. Said, hey guys, we know you have a system. You're probably already doing good. Okay, would it improve if you digitize it, right? And then to help you with that, we just show you. We are willing to do some work and to show you how can we assess so we can minimize the resistance to change.
I think we need something else near here. We need a list of updates that are coming up, or upgrades that are coming up to the system, that are going to be included for free in the subscription packages, and a list of features that are paid separately. For example, we're talking about the portfolio management module. This is paid. This is not free, right?
And
not part of the project. Yeah. So we need a list, 2 separate lists. One that says what they will get for free as part of their package, and the other, the options that they can subscribe to if they want to.
Yeah,
we don't have this right now, right?
Yeah, we do. I mean, the options that they can pay for right now are only one: program management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have a plan for that, so it will be good
as an add-on. As an add-on, I'm not going to give them the roadmap, right? As an add-on, we have 2 add-on today. 2 add-on: sustainability, which is free, and program management, which is paid for. Right, that's it. Portfolio management, not until next year, most likely.
Yes, but
we have anything for portfolio management before the fall.
Yeah, but we're talking about including 27 different modules right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's segregate, right? So in terms of the module element, right, the platform element, we have project management, we have program management, we have portfolio management. Program management is an add-on. Sustainability is an add-on because we felt it's special because it's a partnership. If we do the risk, the partnership will probably be an add-on. Okay, and portfolio add-on. These 27 items that I'm talking about, most of them will be free as part of the enhancement. And
yes,
yeah, and they will be linked to project and the program.
That's what I'm saying. If we issue, we can issue it yearly. We don't have to issue it every now and then. And it's not the roadmap, but for example, if you, for a year from now, what are we going to be adding for free to the platform, and what modules will come up that are paid, that customers can anticipate? It's just a way to enhance our marketing.
Yeah. I can do that. I mean,
this is in the plan. You're going to get this within the next year. This is additional if you want it. Also, if you're looking for that, you can expect it in the next year. It doesn't have to be the full roadmap, just what's coming up in the near future.
Yes, Ahmed. Hang on, I'll answer you. Yes, I mean, the problem is right now I can share with you already the program 4 plan. I'm already working on it, but obviously I'm dividing program 4 into 4 projects. The first project will include 6 modules. Okay, and those could be available by the end of May. Some of them already exist. 2 modules already exist, but we will be enhancing. and 4 modules they will be further developed. Okay. But what I don't have right now, so basically I have the program structure and how I'm going to do the sequence of work on the program. So the sequence of release I can give you tomorrow. But what I don't know is timing yet, because I don't know yet. I haven't developed those yet. And I don't know with the development team how long they would take. What I'm guessing is the first 6, potentially they could be done by the end of May. Because they are, I put the first 6 in the project 1 that are the one that are easy to do. That because they have already, like sustainability management need minor modification, task management need minor modification. Okay, those modules exist already, but they need minor modification. Team management is very basic, but we will enhance it. So I will show you the timeline of the product roadmap. If I want to split the product roadmap into specific sequence of module, I can do that. However, right now that has to be internal document. Because some of it, the date, I cannot commit to the date yet, because also depend on funding. Same thing with portfolio management. And by the way, on the website, I'm adding a page for the product roadmap.
Okay.
So
I
I
mean,
can
was
add some of these tools
timeline.
if we have dates.
Yes, but I was not looking for a timeline. A timeline is something that's very restrictive for us. I
Yeah,
understand that. I was looking for just a list of expectations that
yeah,
this is what's coming up, this is what you can expect to see, without actually adding the times for it, because
yeah. I will be
understand
doing
that the
that.
time is not currently, we cannot afford to lock the times right now.
Absolutely. I can do that, because I'm also, Sumar is doing, and he will probably by this weekend, he will start releasing some stuff. He's doing multiple things, for example, that we can use to help us with marketing and sales. For example, a list of the method. What tailored method we have in the system right now. A PLC, a list of PLCs, or actually a PowerPoint presentation that shows all the project life cycle for the different tailored method. Okay, he will have that, and he will have those files in the shared folder, and he will have a full a PowerPoint presentation showing, and then all of this will come to Maria for branding. It will show basically, so we will have one PowerPoint presentation that include all the project lifecycle images for the different tailored method, a list of all the tailored method, a PowerPoint presentation of all the performance chart that we have built into the system, a list of all the item in the knowledge portal, a list of all the items that will be under the Uruk guide in the platform. So Sumar is working on producing multiple statistics, right? A PowerPoint that shows the stats that we have in the platform as of today. So these Sumar are working on a bunch of collateral right now that will help us to use in marketing and sales. And that's what I created the folder that on the team that should include a file that would help the sales and business team. So all of those files will be hosted there. So when we're talking to client, if somebody talked to us about a tailored method, we can show them the different tailored method. If they want to see what kind of performance chart we have, we can show them. And in this case, what you suggested there, a list of the modules, we already have something, but I already have something for what exists today. But I will be adding, I will be doing the one you suggested, and I will put it as a product roadmap, as a sequence without the date.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to tie ourselves to date right now. We just show them what we're planning to do.
Yeah.
And the gap analysis, last last point, honest and transparent recommendations are not sales centric.
Ahmed, sorry to interrupt you. Can we take like 3-minute break, please?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Let me pause the recording. Okay, everybody back?
Maria's here. Nada, are you here?
Yes.
Everybody's here.
Okay, Ahmed, you're talking about gap analysis.
Yes, the last point in gap analysis: honest and transparent recommendations and not sales-centric. It's good. I think it can be improved. I'm not sure how. It feels a little bit, it can be improved. But one point of improvement I can see in it, to add the word practical, because one of the major issues with gap analysis I've seen before, not with Uruk, like generally when doing consultancy, not most of the times, but many times in gap analysis, the suggested or recommended solutions are not practical to the organization or the company that need to implement them because of many different reasons. So adding the word practical here will be more attractive to them. That's my opinion.
Basically,
I see this especially in small businesses. I know our target is not small businesses, but I see it a lot in small businesses because consultants suggest things that need a lot of budget or a lot of change, and they cannot afford that simply. They say, yeah, okay, we know that we need to do that, but we're not going to do it. So it's just. And if you want to say it, as you put it before, not sales-centric, you can say, for example, honest, practical, and transparent recommendations that are not tied to Uruk, for example, something like that. I don't know. I'm still thinking of the rewarding, but
let's leave it like this right now, and then.
Okay. If we go to the applied,
honest, practical. I mean, honest, practical, and transparent. We are being transparent, and if there is something that is, in that case, Uruk, we believe the right solution, we're going to tell them we think this is the right solution. If it's not, we can tell them, hey, this is not the right solution.
Okay. Yeah, that should work. Yeah. The applied learning bit, what's it is special, right? The fourth column.
Yeah,
and it applies.
Course we have. We already have.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, go ahead, Ahmed. Go.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just in the thinking process here. I'm thinking out loud. It's a special. It can apply to different stages of the journey. It's not in any specific stage.
Yeah.
What do we mean by simulation of the front end?
Sorry.
Simulation of the front end. What do we mean by it?
Here I was debating what to put. Okay, I need to change it because I think that's going to create more confusion.
I think this talks directly about Uruk, right?
What I'm saying usually here from a technical perspective in a classroom session, we cannot simulate implementation.
Okay.
Right, but I can simulate defining requirement, I can simulate developing a plan, I can simulate developing project brief. That in oil and gas and the capital and the process industry, the capital project industry, we call that the first. If you look at the standard model of Uruk, the first two stages, the discovery stage and the development stage. So the first phase, sorry. So the first 5 stages up to the final approval point, we call that the front end.
Okay.
It's weird, right? Like in development, we have a front end and back end, and here we have the front end, but we don't have a back end. We have a front end and delivery, right? The term that is commonly used and popularized by independent project analysis and TII and other capital project organization is all the work that we do before the final funding, before execution or implementation is called the front end.
Okay, so you can keep it, but you need to clarify it because if somebody does not on your process, will not understand it.
I took it out because that, I mean, that might be understood only in the capital project industry, that might not be understood in other industries.
Yeah, I understood that it's software. I didn't understand what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay. It would be nice here to mention the stage gate process somehow. Do you think?
Besides my, okay, elevating PM from passport delivery. And simulation of, okay, and that's the same thing here. Simulation of a project across the PLC. To the various stages. Stage deliverable. And stage gates. Technically, that's what this is.
Okay. Fine. And the last one, part of Uruk community, including lifetime access to the Uruk platform. What's this? I mean,
No, actually, this is including access. No, I mean, those who participate, right?
mhm.
We're gonna give them access because they need to simulate the project using the Uruk platform.
Okay.
Okay. And if I want here, basically.
So it's just access to the Uruk community and the Uruk platform.
No, I mean, when we say part of the Uruk community, that means they will become part of our database. They will receive the special messages, you know, and then they can participate in forum, and of
Okay.
course they would have including access to the platform.
Yeah, but the structuring of the sentence is it feels separate from the rest. If we're talking about marketing messaging, it doesn't relate to what's
No, what we are
before it.
saying here, what we're telling them is that if
I
you
understood what you
join
said.
these
I was
workshops,
trying this.
now what we're saying is that if you join this workshop, you will get access to the community
Mhm.
and the platform.
Yeah, so maybe become part of the Uruk community and access the Uruk platform.
If I want to be more clear here, become part of the Uruk community, including access platform, at no extra cost.
Not including, and get access to the Uruk platform. Gain access to, yeah, I mean, that, then it's continuation of the whatever before it.
When we start to talk about pricing, then we can put a net dollar value here.
Mhm.
I forgot
You're
what
talking
we're selling the license for. Yeah.
For individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
I think $1,000 or $900 or something like this.
or 1,500, something like that.
No, lower.
Um,
I'll double check. But basically, we're talking about here a 2-day workshop. So basically, what we're talking about here is a 2-day workshop that we can charge probably $1,500 for it.
mhm.
Okay, or more, right? And we're telling them, look, part of it is you'll get access to the platform that is at least $1,000 value.
And this access for how long?
That's what I was initially I thought about lifetime access, but that becomes a solo PM.
Yeah, then we'll have too many lifetime subscribers.
No, this is 1-year license, what I'm thinking.
Yeah, actually, we don't have to mention it here because it can be 1-year license for individuals, or if a company provided multiple candidates,
Exactly.
then it
If
will
the
be an
company sent me a
organization.
group, sure. If the company sent me a group of people, then we'll give them a group access.
Yeah, so we don't have to specify here. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here, this is a workshop that we already have. This is the same workshop that we have designed and we did the flyer for back for PMI. It's the same workshop that we plan to do for the women in PM. But we need to start, I think we need to start to schedule it. We need to start. This is why I was waiting for when we finalize the plan, the marketing plan, is to start moving forward when moving into April, when we start to become more focused on marketing, we need to start to market this workshop. So we need to start to schedule this workshop and market it. I mean, even if we can make a partnership with PMI or other chapters where we can offer it through those chapters as well, that will become part of the partnership we need to pursue as well. And PMI, like I know Houston chapter does this. Like, for example, I think soon they have what they call, from Galveston, they do what they call PMI at sea. They take a cruise ship and they go for 3 to 4 days and they have delivered workshop basically while on the ship itself, right? So, I mean, there are different chapters. They have educational program, they have workshops, so we can do this in partnership with some of them as well. But initially, we need to schedule ourselves.
Munir, are there engineering forums that we can utilize other than PMI?
Yes, there are a lot. I mean, right now we have one that we have the project control in September. Most likely we'll participate in that. Okay. There was the LNG one at the end of May, but we decided not to exhibit there. But I will be attending. I already registered to attend. Maria is looking into something called downstream right now. There's a downstream event happening. Potentially, we're looking at exhibiting there. I'm not sure. I don't have the detail about it when the dates are and those kind of things. But it is basically similar, about $7,000 or so, but with 2 exhibitors. So Maria is looking potentially at that. I mean, the project control example, for example, the project control happened 3 different times per year at different locations around the world. And the downstream also happened at different part. And there are things happening in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in Saudi, in other places. But right now, I'm not looking at any of that stuff. Potentially, there are many conferences where I can be attending as well, other than exhibiting. So, but I mean,
Maybe not exhibiting. Maybe not exhibiting, just speaking. If there is an engineering forum, for example, or an engineering exhibition or something like that, because project management is tightly related to engineering. So yes, delivering a speech there can be a good starting point.
Absolutely. I mean, this the downstream is by Reuters, but Reuters, they were basically demanding like $20,000 for a speaking engagement.
20,000?
Something like this. I can't remember.
Okay. Usually they pay speakers, they not get them to pay.
I mean, because these people are looking at, hey, you're coming here to market yourself. This is different than, of course, different than those events that maybe where you are a professional go and present, right? Like the Big Five and the UAE. You know, remember, we used to have the Big Five across the region. All of these are potential speaking engagements for us. Right now, with this new organization that I joined, or we are working on, we're talking about 4 events in Saudi and Dubai. I don't know if they will still happen or not. I'm speaking at the PMI Dallas. So, but the problem, Ahmed, is that, I mean, even PMI, for example, right now, the call for paper came out. I don't have time to start to apply all of these things because all of these require you to submit and papers and stuff. And it just takes time, and I'm really burned. I mean, if I show you, once I'm after this meeting, I'm going to show you the presentation. They are very early on program 4. And you can have and imagine 27 modules to be built.
Yes, I understand that. We don't have to participate in each and every one. We choose 1 or 2, maybe 3. We can maybe choose 1 per quarter. That should be enough.
Yeah, I know, but we need to identify those, right? We need somebody to help us keep an eye on them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any more comments on this.
Yeah.
But I have another question that is not
But
directly
before you go on the workshop, I just want to emphasize, Maria, the applied learning. Again, remember each one. My intention here, each one of these blocks is a marketing campaign by itself, right? The audience is executive, except the applied learning. It could be also professionals and PMO directors and PMO manager. And the only the other difference about the applied learning is that this is a workshop. So we have to add, to go back to that flyer we developed before, it has to have the price and it has to have dates and locations. So maybe we need to take the risk of putting dates and putting schedules, and we do like what we used to do in Dubai. Basically, we schedule these things, and of course, we don't have an audience, we cancel. But we want to minimize. So ideally, we need to think of what are the major cities that we might want to plan this and do maybe like a tour, right? So we structure it in addition to the workshop content, we structure it as a tour. Multiple cities. So you guys can send me later a suggestion for what cities to include. I mean, I already have in mind 2 or 3 different cities, but maybe we can organize, and we can do one every month. We can schedule one every month and see if there is enough audience. I mean, ideally, if we price it like around $1,500, right, or so, that basically 5 people probably will justify the travel cost, even if we break even in a workshop like this. Okay, so please suggest locations. Anything else to add on this? I know, Ahmed, you probably want to add your idea, right?
No, we'll keep that till later. But I have a couple of questions for something different when we finish.
Okay. Let me just summarize, and then we can close this topic if no other question. Again, this has nothing to do with the value proposition, why Uruk PM. All of that apply to all of these, right? Differentiator is there, features are there. All of that information still apply here. What I'm trying to focus is that to zoom in to create 4 different marketing campaign to market us. The first 2 are focusing on marketing the platform. The last 2 are focusing on marketing services. However, marketing services for the purpose of ultimately, of course, of the platform, right? But they are services independent and they're standalone. So if somebody wants just to come to a course, fine, that a course. They take a training, maybe nothing else come out of it. At least we are billing for it, right? And gap analysis, obviously, ultimately is if the gaps identify that is something like the platform would be of value to them, then of course the platform would be option, or it could end up with the gap analysis could result in additional services without subscription to the platform, right? Because maybe somebody needs portfolio tool. We don't have portfolio tool yet. We're gonna tell them wait for a year, right? But we can probably advise them on other areas in that perspective. There are other project management services we can offer today, including consultancy, including talent development, including project management as a service, including managing services. But however, we are not emphasizing those at this point in time.
This can come up as a result of gap analysis easily.
Sorry?
These services can come up as a result of gap analysis.
Exactly. And of course, the gap analysis could be combined with the first 2 as well. I mean, we could be doing the OPM system and no OPM system, and then we still do it, and all with gap analysis. So they could be packaged together as well if there is need.
Okay.
So Maria, this is for you. right? This is why I need to finish that marketing plan that you're working on, so we can at least put that behind us and put it into implementation. Those what I'm talking about here is part of the marketing plan and should be part. But if you don't have something like this yet in the marketing plan, we can add it later, right? But let's get it done so we can move to start actually implementing these ideas here. Okay. All right. If no other question, Ahmed, go ahead.
I need to go to another meeting in 8 minutes, so I'll just ask the questions. They were supposed to be asked on Monday meeting, but it's good to ask them now. Maybe we can give them a little thought before Monday. So the first one is when we're talking to our customers, or when we're trying to find customers, we talked about focusing on the capital-intensive projects industry, which is mainly oil and gas, energy, and facility construction.
Yeah.
So the question here is, isn't it all construction? Even if we're talking about oil and gas and energy, what kind of projects they might have that does not include construction that we can serve?
No, they all. I mean, when we say capital project, by definition, that include construction.
Yes, but I'm talking about oil and gas and energy. Is there anything else they do other than construction that we can serve them with?
Of course.
Okay, so what are those? I need to know those because I'm not very clear.
Technology, IT department.
Yeah, we need to have a list of it or some more explanation.
Every company, Ahmed, every company, what does the company do, right? Every company has IT projects, HR project, finance project, marketing projects. So technically, a company could buy our services and they can use 10 different tailored methods because they might have 10 different types of project. If they want to projectize that operation, assuming they understand. But right now, the dominant one would be IT.
Okay, fine. Okay, that's yeah.
Even when you go to PMI, when you find a lot of people from oil and gas, they are typically IT people.
Okay. The other point was for the past couple of weeks, I was exploring some options for enhancing our sales efforts. We know that our major issue here is time. Getting people to understand what we're doing and subscribe to it takes time because we're new, we don't have a track record yet. And the decision process generally in larger companies is a little bit more red taped, so they need more time. You hired Roy to get us some help in getting customers. Unfortunately, Roy is still warming up. I mean, so far we didn't get a good result from him, but he's still interactive, he's still trying, so we're going with Roy for now. But I thought I was exploring other options, like I came up with a sequence of options that we can use. So I talked to a company that have a call center. They do basically what Roy does, but using calling instead of emails. So they have their team that do the research for customers, potential customers, based on the criteria that we put. Then they call those customers, they try to get us meetings with them. And when they have positive responses, then they forward, they actually book our calendar directly for that call.
Yeah.
Now, these are relatively cheap services. They charge by the hour, and basically, I think it's $25 per hour, and the minimum package is $500, something like that. So, and it can take up to a week for them to fulfill that time period. So, if we get the results from this first stage, if we get actually a couple of customers, 1 or 2 customers, we can move to the next stage, which is another company that I talked to. They do LinkedIn marketing and lead development. Same concept as Connected, but separate from the company. So they are not part of Uruk. We don't have to subscribe to them and use their platform. They do everything themselves, and they give us the warm leads. This is a more expensive service, of course. It's about $10,000, but they guarantee a certain number of leads or certain type of results. This will become the next stage because we, of course, first need to get customers in order to be able to pay for such a service. And the third stage is after we pass through these 2 stages and we get more customers, then we have revenue, is doing what we talked about earlier is the professional speaker kit. So I talked to someone who actually his job is to prepare professional speakers to go to the to go public and to help them fine-tune their speech, get their sales bit in the speech fine-tuned, help them in booking speaking arrangements and talking to event organizers, hooking them with the proper organizers and this kind of stuff. This is much more expensive service, of course, but when the time comes, we can talk about it. You can either like pay for it in full or just pay monthly retainer plus some percentage of whatever you make on your speeches, something like that. So I'm just putting here right now. We can talk more about it on Monday, but this is the process that I was looking at in order to enhance our sales efforts.
Yeah, I mean, I do get every day, literally every day, or every other day, 1 or 2 messages from certain companies that have with that services. Right
I
now,
know.
huh?
I receive hundreds of them. I don't
Yeah.
look at them, but the ones I'm talking about are the ones I know personally. I know people who work with them, and they were successful. That's
Yeah,
why
I mean, there are many options. The question is like right now, I wasn't ready. The only thing I'm doing now is that, as I mentioned, I have somebody start with Monday, and she's already creating a long list for me of target audience from company I tell her. But I'm not asking her to reach out to any of them, to just find that information and share with me. Right? Because at the type of position we want to target, I have difficulty, and the same thing with investing, by the way. One of the agencies that offered to help us was investing, and we hesitated because many of the recommendation I got is that once you start getting agency to interfere on your behalf, it become a frowning point. So I've been hesitating in any of that area. But fine. I mean, let's see. We can look at some of these. But at this time, I repeat something I said on Monday, Ahmed. I want to be able for us to be out there directly because I need to hear what the clients are saying. If right now I start to go to many agencies out there, I feel like we will end up spending more time like we're doing with Roy, and setting up and all of this and without any immediate result. But I'm open to hearing. I'm open to hear what options exist, right? But again, I'm looking for me to get out there directly because I want to hear the
we'll
feedback.
continue doing that. We'll not stop.
I was meeting with an advisor yesterday. She told me, well, okay, when you talk to clients, what are you hearing? Well, I'm not hearing anything, right? So, since you are rushing, I just got a couple of points I want to add quickly. Just I'm not going to talk about them a lot, but I will highlight them. The advisor I was meeting with and talking with the other day, she is incoming president for an organization called Dress for Success that focus on women and helping women. So she is going to try to basically to partner with us for the Women in PM. So the Women in PM program right now, it looked like we might have to cancel the date, Maria. We have it on our website, but I don't know if we have any registration. Anyway, let's talk about that Monday. I need an update from you guys on the solo PM and women PM if we are receiving anything, right? If we are not receiving anything on the women PM, we keep it on our website, but we remove the date until I probably maybe starting in May, working with Andrea, the advisor. We can talk about potentially partnering with Dress for PM. Women Dress for Success, and they will help us. They have wide reach and a lot of chapters all over, and they can help us with that area. So I want to highlight that, and I already highlighted the lady I hired to help me with the video. She's working on studying our videos right now, and she is working on already sent me a draft list of like 10 companies. Right now, she is targeting LNG companies for us. So she's generating a list for us as well. And all of that in 2-3 days already, she made a good list for me. So she's continuing to work that. Ahmed, I know you need to go. If you need to go, go ahead. Maria and Nada, if you have any other question, I can stay.
Thank you, Munir. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Honesty. I know, like, I know there's like a 4 campaigns that you want and to do, but can we mix, like, for example, gap analysis when applied learning? Because for like these are like so focused on services.
Yeah, it is a service. It is part of what you have on the website right now is a workshop. That's it. But need to be modified.
Why the campaign is going to be different?
What do you mean?
One for gap analysis and applied learning.
Because they are two separate services. Two separate services, two different audience. Gap analysis is for PMO director and above. Right? PMO director, CFOs, CEOs, CIOs. Applied learning is PMO, these executives plus maybe HR manager, maybe PMO manager, maybe senior project managers. Because individual can come and take these courses as well and pay out of their own pocket. So the audience is totally different. The focus is totally different. Gap analysis is the consultancy. Applied learning is training.
Yeah. So I don't have
Again,
any other
Maria, when I talk
questions
about
about
campaign,
that.
I mean including ads, right? We want to start doing some ads.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So what we can do is I can do like the project marketing schedule that I have, like, for example, for every month. We can use it, but I can create also like a specific message that is going to be shared for each of the pillars that we have here.
I mean, we need to do our regular marketing and our weekly marketing, and that based on whatever topic we agree to, we're gonna do that. Okay. On top of that, we need to do these things.
Okay.
I mean, but when I say on top of that, I mean, of course, these will include social media posts. So basically, like on one post on social media, if you're gonna market something, then obviously you will be marketing whatever we want to campaign. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to have our marketing plan that include. You see the way I see it. The marketing plan focus on we're gonna use social media. We're gonna post weekly. We're gonna post so many times per week, right? But and these are the major topic we're gonna post about. So some of these posts will fit into that plan, right? But what I'm trying to say, I want to treat this as special mini projects.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. So we can segment the plan, the content that we have, because I segment the content, but I segment the content, for example, like learning, education, and product. So for the content that I have for focus on product, we can share posts that are focused, for example, for the companies who don't have OPM, and for the other ones who has OPM. And for the ones that are focused on learning, we can also share the content that is more focused for the gaps analysis and also for the applied learning too. Okay. Yes, and we can do campaigns for each of them separately in different time. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have any questions, any other questions about that. I was yesterday in a meeting when one of the organizers for the Small Business Expo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me that we talk about that after. No, if Nara has another questions about this.
No, it's all clear for me.
Okay. So what's your question, Maria?
So I was in a meeting with him. I have some information about the event. It's going to be on October. they offer really like kind of nice things in order, like they are going to have like it's a speeding, like kind of like network speeding room. It's just one day. They are going to do like 4 a day, and if we decide to be a vendor, we can have like priority to be the first who sit down on the meeting room. They also have something that I find particularly catching for us. They offer one that is a webinar, and they also offer like a workshop that we can do. Of course, all of them has like separate price. The workshop is just that day. They do all the marketing. They do the marketing 30 days priority to the event. And the workshop is 30 minutes, and it's for 50 people. Like they cannot like ensure that 50 people are going to be on the workshop, but like they expect to like participation for 50 people. That is one option if we would like to do a speaker. But the other option that I find out more interesting is there is a webinar. So they have like a university for small businesses. And what they offer is we can launch the webinar. We can choose when are we going to post the webinar. It could be like on the same time than the event, or it could be in another time. They leave the webinar for the people that announce them. They announce them for 1 month. And after that, they leave the webinar for like live time on their school. So that is one thing that they offer. Also, they do all the like the marketing part in getting people to get to watch the webinar. So I think that's really nice.
Okay.
That could be really yes, because it's like lifetime, and it's like it's not like YouTube, because we can have a webinar on YouTube, but we have like that support, like that representation from them, so we can post a webinar there. The other thing is, I was talking with him about, okay, what is the main target? Is the CEO. Almost all the companies that are going there are companies that have less than 50 people. But there is a percentage of 5% of people or companies that are more than 50 employees. I saw the chart like the last year that they did an event in Houston. There was approximately 30% of the company that were focused on construction. So I will say that we will have the opportunity to be one construction making a decision. It's not going to be really high, because almost all the vendors and almost all the people who are going to be there are more focused on service, HR, marketing, but there will be construction area as well. And there is another area that we can also take advantage, is going to be the IT. It's one that has a good representation on the people that he showed me that attended last year. The other thing is they expect to have 1,300 attendees.
But Maria, I'm listening to all what you're saying. My concern is that what you're saying is 90% of their audience is less than 50, then I wouldn't bother. Right?
But it's pretty small. Yes, that's why
Yeah, because I mean, ideally, we need, when we talk about businesses, we need businesses that need at least 5 licenses, right? 5 licenses, that means we need to have at least 100 employees, potentially, right? So if they're less than 50,
that's just 5%.
if less than 50, the majority, we talk about the majority of them are less than 50, then definitely, even if they are within our industry, they will not be a good candidate. 100, 200, 500, are still considered small, but they fit.
Mhm.
Yeah, but in this case, we're looking for small developer in that case, not construction companies. If they are construction companies, they are probably, these companies probably are the one who probably come and build you a garden or build you a shed, or they do small construction if they are less than 50 employees or 50 employees or so. Would not be, again, the audience that we want. If you have any information written, send them to me and I'll take another look. But based on what I'm hearing, might not be the case.
Mhm.
Now, downstream, the word, I don't know if you know what the word downstream mean. Downstream is typically oil and gas, and typically mean refinery, petrochemical plant, gas plant, which is exactly our target audience. In oil and gas, you hear the word upstream and downstream. Upstream mean the things that are upstream, meaning exploration and production of oil or gas, and downstream mean the processing of that, which means refinery, petrochemical plant, gas plant, LNG plant, which is exactly, upstream and downstream are both our potential client, except upstream are probably dealing with the mega project, which is we're not ready for yet. So downstream would be, it sounds like might be a good event to attend, if it is like the LNG one. Okay.
That one is going to be on June. I sent you the information over. That was the one that we reached out at the beginning,
Yeah.
that they were charging like 5,000 to be a speaker.
Yeah.
The downstream also has the option to be exhibitors, and they charge is like 700 and something to be the exhibitors.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be something to consider. I think I sent you sent me information. I responded, I think. Okay. Anything else?
So I'm going to contact the guy and see if they still have booths available.
Yeah, just get some information for now. We're not committing yet. But at least we'll need to get some information. Like we did with the LNG, the cost, what's included in the booths, those kind of things, what's included in the package.
We already have that information.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all we need. If we have all that information, then that's fine.
Well, what else do we need to know to make the decision, either if we are going or no?
No, similar to PMI. Right now I'm deciding the budget will be the decision, but basically I need to understand the audience, the kind of agenda they have, and what's included. When we say the booth, are we talking about including the internet, the electricity, all of that? If you have all the answer for that, then I will look at it, and then it become a money decision. It become a decision whether we have the money or not. It's Galveston, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm going to double check the information that I sent to you.
Yeah.
And if there is something that I'm missing, I'm going to resend the information, okay?
Exactly. Just look at what PMI, right? What did we need for PMI, and what, we need a booth, design, all of this information, so we can decide. And if it's in June, that is come immediately after the LNG event. So right, almost the same week, because June, I think the LNG is May 31 and June 1, and this one is like 6 and 7, you said? Something like this, right?
This one is, check.
6 or 7 or 7 and 8, I remember, something like this, early June.
Yes, June 7 and 8, that's correct.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, anything else, guys? If not,
No,
Thank you. Thank
all
you.
right. And let's